Hello, Flosstube. I'm Teresa. Welcome back. This is episode number 4. I'm the Garden Goose Stitcher. It's getting easier to say. Episode number 4. Can I tell you that I'm a tad overwhelmed? Because a lot of people have subscribed and left me comments and referred other people, and I am completely overwhelmed and humbled and thankful and grateful and speechless, mostly. My son and my husband, like, at first they were like making fun of me, and then they were like, oh my goodness. And I was like, I know, right? Completely overwhelming. I really, honestly, when I sat down to do my first Flosstube, I thought I would have like 2 people and my mom, maybe, that would watch. It would just be a great, like, chronicle for my own craftiness. But I am so loving commenting back and talking to you and engaging with you and hearing the wonderful things you guys said about the quilt last week and about my quilty friends, and it's been a lot a lot of good, and I'm really, really appreciative, and I just want to say thanks. And I wanted to also thank Annie, the Prepper Stitcher, and Nancy and Jenny from the Bougie Stitchers, and Missy and Kathy from 2 Needles Pulling Thread. They all shouted me out, and so, I just am overwhelmed, okay? And if you remember, and if you watch the Bougie Stitchers, Nancy hit it on the head when she said, I'm emotionally constipated when I don't show my emotions. My husband died. My husband died when he heard that. I was like, Dave, you have to hear what they said. And he watched it, and he like stopped and like bent over and died laughing. I think that's a great explanation of how some of us feel our emotions. But completely overwhelmed. Thank you all so much. It was so kind of you. Thank you for coming upon their recommendation and not being mad at them for sending you to a crazy lady who makes a lot of mistakes. Also, what would it be if it wasn't my Flosstube with me correcting something that I couldn't think of words for last time? So I'm going to start with that. How about everybody else's Flosstube has their own schedule? Mine starts with corrections. Let me fix something I couldn't think of words for. Last week, I was talking about the Lori Holt Little Santa, right? The Little Santa ornament that I was having my nieces learn with. It's this pattern. Everybody's seen it. Everybody probably even has that. It was that Santa. It was the vintage Christmas sampler. I stitched this, and I have stitched 3 versions similar to this. So I brought one. It's a previous finish. Like, legitimate. But, so this was the fall one. This was the first thing I ever stitched in my whole life. And I'm going to tell you something about the kindness I cross-stitch YouTube. It's overwhelming because I do not handle criticism too well. And the first thing I ever stitched, I remember starting the pumpkin in my car. We had to volunteer for the hockey league in South Dakota, so we had to sit at the pumpkin patch for like hours during this week that the league did the volunteering and stuff. And I remember it was rainy and cold. Nobody was at the pumpkin patch. I was still getting my hours in for hockey volunteering, forced volunteering. And I sat in my car and I started stitching this, and I was so excited, and I posted it immediately on some Facebook group, probably Kimberly Stitch Squad, and somebody immediately told me I did it wrong. And then she was right. I don't know if you can still tell, but I wasn't going the right way. Like, the columns, I think I was stitching up and down, and I had stitched one way, like my half stitches one way, and so they're definitely, you can tell. Like, if you really look at it, you can tell. But I was completely mortified. Immediately deleted it. And I'm not upset that she told me that. It's just that I just don't handle criticism. Probably because I'm a middle child that's emotionally constipated. But so anyway, so this was the first thing I ever stitched. It's on 14 count, probably oatmeal, probably whatever Kimberly Jolly recommended. I have it on this finishing piece. I change it out for Halloween and then I change it. I have a Christmas one, and I'd like to stitch a wintry one, and I'd like to stitch a Valentine's-y one, and I'd like to stitch whatever, just to change them out each month or season. But I haven't done that yet. But it's up right now because it's got turkey. So this is what I was talking about when I couldn't think of a single dang word. I'm sure most of you know what I was talking about. Anyway, I thought that was... Somebody just came over to my house when I had my girlfriends over for stitching. And she said, you know, I've seen that online, but it looks much better in person. I was like, I know, right? That's why quilt shop or needlework shops are so dangerous. Because you see a sample and you're like, wait a minute. No, I really love that thing. So please excuse my error. Vintage Christmas sampler. And these are the same size as those stitch cards. So you can just change out. Like you can use this entire setting. So that is pretty genius of them to set that up. They can go on forever and just keep designing little 24 by 24s. So anyway, there's my correction and a previous finish. But I didn't get a lot of stitching done this week. We were busy. I had my friends over for sewing on Saturday, and we had a great time. And I started quilting again. And the night before, because my sewing room was so tiny, I had these quilts waiting for bindings. The night before, I like committed to putting bindings on stuff. So I finished 2 quilts, and then they came over to sew, and I've been quilting. So I've been making a Christmas quilt. It's on my Insta. Is it on my Instagram? I'm not sure, but I'll share it someday when it's done. But right now I'm racing my friend, which always helps because my biggest motivation is sewing with others. So we're making this ornament quilt. It's a Thimble Blossoms pattern. I think it's vintage holiday too. And so she has hers done. She just needs to put the sashing in and then finish it. I think I have like 16 blocks done. And so I have 4 more to go and then the sashing. So I think we're racing. And so maybe we'll have them done before Christmas. That'd be nice. But then we went to Thanksgiving at my mom's house. And then I've been cleaning my house a bit. I've also been, I don't know. How did the week go by so fast? I don't know. So I did some stitching. I have some whips to show you. I have some finishes. Remember how I said I hoped I had a flurry of finishing? I mean, I'm going to go ahead and declare it a flurry. A flurry had happened. So that worked out. But, so I'm going to show you my whips first. I worked a little bit today. I was coffee tea dyeing fabric, and I'll show that to you in a minute because nobody talked me out of it. But today, while I was watching the pot for boiling, you're not supposed to boil it in there. Even though I did have a coffee bag break, I used those little pouches from like hotels, and then I used tea, and one did break a little. So I worked on this a little bit while I watched the pot. I love this stitch. I think I'm just gonna stitch it because I think I'm gonna stitch it. Like I'm just gonna continue working on it. I got the house finished, and I love it. This is on 28 count mushroom Lagana, and I'm using color and cotton, and I have no idea what colors, except for I know that the aqua is hunter, and I know the house is holly berry, and I love it. I love stitching on it. It's like very, very enjoyable. I think I'm gonna keep it out. And last week, we're not doing school this week, so. But last week I had 3 days that I stitched on my schooler during school. And I actually don't think that actually happened. I think I only stitched on it like 2 of those days, or maybe 1. Because sometimes while we're doing school, there's a lot to do. Especially when it comes to Espanol. But, so I've been working on this January, my schooler during school. And I got a little bit done. Stitching this on 14 count, but I use that instant antique stuff. I got the little blue flaky things and then the trees in, and then I started to get this sled done. So those trees are fun. At first I thought that they were miserable, and then I was like, you know what, those were really enjoyable. I wish I had a few more to do. but I like it a lot. But, oh, and I got the white filled in. I don't think that was filled in last week. So, but I'll work on it next week. But I probably won't. I don't know if I'll get to work on it before next Tuesday. So I worked on that. And then Wordplay Wednesday. I'm working on Wordplay Wednesday with my friends. And I got a little bit done. I don't know what I was doing last Wednesday, but I sure didn't get a lot of cross stitching done. But I did get November stitch, the crayon. I don't remember what else I did. I think I got the rest of pumpkin pie. And did I do that bounty? I might have. Maybe I had that. But I got a little bit done. Do you know on Wednesday, my stitching time is weird because my husband works a weird shift. He works nights. And he works like 3 days a week and like every other Saturday. So Wednesday is the day he first goes to work, so he like has to take a nap after dinner and then goes to work. So I have like his napping time and then when he goes to work, then I stitch my Wordplay Wednesday. But it's kind of a weird choppy day because I don't know, it's weird when you live with a night shifter. I'm sure if you live with a night shifter you know exactly what I mean, but they be ruin almost everything. We're hosting Thanksgiving this week, and he works obviously Wednesday night, and so he'll get home at 9 a.m. We're hosting Thanksgiving at 1:30. And then he has to go to work that night, so that'll be great. That'll be super. Okay. I don't complain. It's really nice to have him here. It feels like he's here more than he's not, but I don't know. My other whip that I worked on is my old Christmas tree. This is my whip go for November. My other whip go I completed at the end of October because I had extra time. By Bonnie Sullivan, All Through the Night. Is that her pattern company? Is that a series? Old Christmas tree. I love this stitch as well. Do you know how I talk about my Hallmark movies? I watch two things right now. I watch Hallmark movies or I watch The Last Kingdom. And if you've ever watched The Last Kingdom, you know what opposites they really are, because The Last Kingdom is quite dramatic and semi-violent, and it's just a historical dramedy or drama. And so I always think it's funny when I'm stitching on this and watching The Last Kingdom because it's so brutal. There's so much war. And then I'm like stitching this pretty jolly piece. I got a little bit more done. You know what I'm surprised at? I haven't made a single mistake yet. Knock on wood. Everything's matched up correctly. Everything. This is on 25 count. Lori Holt. Whatever came with that kit. And I've had a couple other people tell me that they got they stitched it from the Fat Quarter Shop. So I'm not the only one about the kit. But I do love that variegation. I still need to make it over to Stitches and Things to get another skein of Bayberry. I still don't understand how there's so much done in there. But I did get my 10 days in. So I'm setting that aside now. It's going back in the whip go under the bed bin. So now I only have 2 slots left. So my next 2 for next month are, one of them's Santa coming to town. Oh, and then the other one's a Serenity Prayer, which I don't think, now that I was looking at it, I pulled it out of my under the bed because I was getting something else out. And I don't think I was planning to stitch the whole thing. It's by my big toe. I'll show it next time. But, also I was going to tell you, because some people in the comments have known, because they sat with me at StitchCon, when I contemplated what my goal prize, like my prize should be for getting a coverall whip go. And so we were talking about lots of stuff. I was talking to Alma, who, hold on, let me think if I can think. She's the tattooed owl stitcher. Is that true? The reading tattooed owl stitcher? I feel really bad, but she's fantastic. And I was talking to her and Erin from, Erin doesn't have a Flosstube, but she's on Instagram, and she just got like her dream scroll thing. And I mean, I stitch in hand, so I don't really understand the magnitude, except for that other people, when they talk about those Lowry. Are they Lowry? It sounds like the seasoning. Lowry? I don't know. I'm going to use Lowry's to make my Chex Mix in a couple days. Tomorrow. But she got her cool stand. It was an early birthday present. And I'm just happy for her. But my whip goat reward will be a goat. I'd like goats. And so I've decided that if I get a coverall, then I should get a goat. I'm going to, without guilt, find myself a goat or two. Because I think you should definitely have 2 goats. We really do. I do want goats. I'd like to, I'd like to have my own dairy source. And I don't have enough property for a cow. My husband said no. So I'd like to do goats. And so if I do get my goat, I'm going to name it Whip Goat. And Elma and Aaron knew that. So they also know some other stuff. That's fine. Let's not talk about that. So those were my whips. And my whip go. What else do I want to tell you about? Oh, I have finishes. I have a finish. Guess what it is? Guess. It's my string. This hangs on the wall downstairs in my living room. I finished it. I finished stitching it at hockey. And then I got out my glue gun yesterday and I got some stuff glued. This is from Joanne. It says Hello Spring. But I put my strings on it. I think that makes 3 now that I have done. I think I have the summer one. No. The buzzy one. Buzzy. And then spooky. And then thankful. So this is my 3rd one. I really like it. Really like it. And I'm happy that I got it done. And then, since I had my glue gun out, I got some other stuff done. So this was a finish a little bit ago. But this sits on my hutch. I got November's finished. I used some gingham from Hobby Lobby, the fabric. I have a bunch downstairs in my basement. And then it's my Lizzie Kate Flip It, right? Flip It? That series. So this sits on my hutch. It's got like right now it's got a pumpkin in it. It's real. And somebody chewed on it, but I just put that in the bag. It looks cute. You would never know that something was chewing, but I got that finished. And then, while I had the hot glue gun out, I finished this. I stitched this last year during my ornament attempt. And so I finished that. And then these were those Erica Ardent. You know, I think it's just chic. It just goes by Erica Ardent. But I first knew about her from her blog, Confessions of a Homeschooler. She has some of the best resources. I'm not joking. She has some of the best homeschooling resources, and I knew about her on the homeschooling world way before she even got a sewing machine, and then way before she started cross stitching. So I always call her Confessions of a Homeschooler Erica, but you know, her other name is just Erica Ardent, and I think that might be what she publishes. She has quilt and cross stitch. So last year I bought her little, I think it was probably 24 days of ornaments. Maybe it was 12, but I only got 7. That's usually a good average for me. If I plan to do something for 30 days, cut it in thirds at least. So I have the best of intentions. These are just little doodads I found at Walmart, and I like trimmed them off. Some of them have bells. See the bells? And some of them don't. So I thought they looked nice. And I just put a black and red check. This is just one from Hobby Lobby. So you know it's my luck. It's my luck to go buy a whole bunch of checks and ginghams and everything to have for finishing, and then the housewives came out with their stuff. So I'm still gonna use up what I have first, and then he's cute, huh? And then I have a couple of the orange ones. But otherwise, these Hobby Lobbies will have to do. I'm not wasteful like that. So that one's cute. So I finished those up. I feel like that was a big deal. That's a flurry. I consider 10 things a flurry, don't you? Plus they're cute. And I've done a couple years of ornaments, and I always try to finish like that year's ornaments the same. And like I figure if my stitching, my thread coordinate, and my fabric probably coordinates because I have a certain like Christmas fabric stash or whatever, then it'll just go. So I thought they were really cute. There were 7 of them, aren't there? So all right, so that was my finishes of my flurry of finishes. And oh, my haul. Let's talk about my haul. I only got one thing this week. How can that be? I feel like that's sad. But I got one thing. And it came on Saturday when my friends were here. So I got my Grace Notes fabric. My Fabric of the Month Club. I get 18 count. Isn't that beautiful? Oh my goodness. Can you even? I love Grace Notes fabric. I first heard about it at StitchCon in the annex, and I did some damage. I came home with some Grace Notes fabric. Now, I don't know what this says. I can't read it, you guys. What does that say? It either says Sonatina or Sonatia. I don't know. Okay. Sonatina. I don't know. Is that an A or an O? I don't know. But it's really pretty. It's purple. So, beautiful. Beautiful. And since we're talking about fabric, I will show you. No one talked me out of it. I dyed my fabric. I dyed my yard of Lugana. And I think it turned out really well. This was in the pot first. I found a little pack of DMC Monaco 28 count, and so I threw that in the pot too with this. And then, but I think it turned out really well. It has some nice burnt spots. Obviously, they won't show but I thought it turned out really well. But when these were in the pot, the coffee packet hadn't broken, and so that's better. But this was the Monaco. This was a DMC like Charles Craft pack from like Joanne. I think it turned out pretty well. What do you think? I like it. This is very much stiffer. I think this is the first time I've ever touched a Monaco. That's what the housewives stitch on, I think. So, and then this was my 14 count, my big piece. I think it was like a big tubey thing. Turned out really well. And then, you know, if you ever have those, like the coffee granules like break open in there, you can just like shake them really hard or brush them and get the little granules off. You could wash them too, but then you lose some of your coffee tea dye. But I just used the tutorial from the Stitching with the Housewives, and I do love it. I love it. This is my big thing of 14 count. I needed some more. I was out. And then I did some 16 count, and look at me. I actually marked my 16 and 18 count so I could tell the difference. But, which is genius. And, so I had some tubes of those, so I did 2 of each. Okay, and then the last thing I want to tell you about. And I think that's it. No, there's 2 things I need to tell you about. Okay. First, calm down. Okay. Are you friends with the Naptime Stitcher, Katie, on Instagram? I think that's what her name is. The Naptime Stitcher or Naptime Stitcher. Either way, if you look up those, you'll find her. I met her in real life. Okay. And actually, I saw her at StitchCon. She was at StitchCon B. But then I didn't realize it was her because her hair is the most beautiful color. It's like she's transitioning it to natural. She's not dyeing it anymore. And as a girl with white, I sure do appreciate her hair. It is beautiful. And I remember telling my table mates, oh my gosh, do you see that woman over there? Her hair is gorgeous. And like, and then I found out it was her. I've been Instagram following her for a long time. Which is really weird. But anyway, but then I got to talk to her at the Stitching with the Housewives retreat. And she's just as nice as can be. And so she messaged me and she was like, I did a thing. And I was like, show me. I want to see what it is. So she apparently is one of those Excel people that like spreadsheets, but she makes cute ones. And so she has an Etsy shop she opened up. And I immediately went over there and bought everything I wanted. So they're like planners and Stitchy organization, so you can keep track of your patterns, your projects, your inventory of floss and fabric or whatever you want. And then there's like a calendar. Let me show you. So I bought 3 things. Only printed out 2 so far. This is I printed this off at 82%, which is what is this backwards? I printed this off at 82%. So I'm going to trim this down and put it straight in my happy planner. So I'm going to keep this in my happy planner. It's just a stitch every day. And isn't that a wonderful challenge? I'd like to do that. I'd like to see how close I get. Probably not every day, but pretty close. And then I bought this and I printed it off on good paper and with like fresh ink. It's not always the case for a homeschooling family. Sometimes there's no yellow or whatever. I don't know. So I printed off the 2023 at a glance. Well, it's got everything. It's okay. Hold on. I'm gonna show you the inside a little bit. Ew, I licked my finger on Flosstube. I'm so sorry. So it has like a monthly breakdown. I had to do it again. Oh my god! Don't look at me. And then it has like for the month. It has like an overview, like what you want to do. And then it has a cross stitch tracker for the month. And then it has super cute. Hold on. I did it again. Can't even open. Don't look at me. Okay, and then it has January. So each month is super cute. And then on the back side, there's like 2 pages of like just paper or line paper, so you can just write down notes or whatever. Genius and adorable. Each month is stinking cute. There's like 3 or 4 different options. I'm not sure. I don't really remember which one I picked. Now that I think about it, I'm not exactly sure. But you should go. You should look at our Etsy shop and find something amazing. And then I was thinking about it, and maybe she can let me know. But like, what if I could send her my husband's WhipGo spreadsheet and she can make it cute? And then you know, she apparently she likes spreadsheets too because she did a really great job. So you should go check that out. I loved it. And then one more thing. I have to tell you something. So, you know, I'm going to the ball December 2nd, the Jingle Ball on the internet. And then she specifically sent out an email that said, some people think it's just a big Zoom room. And I was like, yeah, who would that be? I totally said that. I still don't know exactly what it will be, but it's not going to be a big Zoom room. So I'll be there though. Whatever it is, I'll be there. And then I also wanted to tell you, in all of my excitement last week, I forgot to mention, I am going to the Teresa Kogut retreat in April in Lansing, Michigan. Are you going? Anabella's is having a retreat in Lansing and with Teresa Kogut, and I'm going. Isn't that beyond exciting? I love Teresa Kogut's designs. I know she lives nearby. Somebody in my comments was like, she lives not far. And I was like, I know, okay? I know. But anyway, so I'm really, 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 really excited. And my friend Tammy is going, and I'm really excited. I heard, well, from everything I saw from the one that they did with the housewives in North Carolina, it looked amazing and fun, and I can't wait. So if you're not going, you should try it too, because I'll be there. And somebody else, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I cannot remember your name, but I commented back on you. But somebody commented that they're going to the retreat in January in Florida with Primrose Cottage, and she was nervous because she has never been to one and she doesn't know anybody that's going. But I want to tell you that I am super introverted, like beyond introverted. And I had the most fun at retreats. And it doesn't matter if you know anybody, because everyone is so kind and fun. And if you've never been to a retreat, you should go. You should really go, because if you have the chance, because it is so much fun and it's wonderful to meet people, especially if you've seen them online. Like Katie, I saw her. I followed her for a long time. I had no idea that was her. I'm so glad I got to meet her in real life. And I highly recommend retreating if you can. I always feel like it sounds bad, like I want to retreat from my life, but I do just love getting away for a minute to meet up with Stitchy friends and relax and not do dishes. And I highly recommend it. If you go and you don't know anybody, you'll make friends. Do you know that I went to StitchCon and I was roommates with this woman named Megan, who I've known on the internet for a while, like on Instagram. And she had messaged me. She's like, hey, listen, if we ever went to a retreat, I think we'd be really good friends. And so then we decided to go to StitchCon, and she's a fantastic friend. And maybe she'll put out a Flosstube. What do you think, Megan? But anyway, so you'll make friends. Promise. I promise. And you'll have the most fun. I wish I could go. But oddly enough, I'm already going to a retreat in January, so that's probably a big no. Plus, my son's hockey season is brutal. I'm sure I'm going to miss a whole bunch of games when I go to that retreat in January. I feel guilty. And then the following weekend, after the retreat I'm going to in Ohio, my son's hockey team is going to play a tournament in Sault Ste. Marie. Do you know where that is? In January, in the end of January. So that's going to be a busy month for the McMaths. So I can't go to a second retreat, but I promise you'll have fun and you'll make good friends. So, but if you want to go to Teresa Kogut, I'll be there. I bet you it's going to be amazing. So, all right, I'm going to go to the grocery store. And I'll see you guys soon. I hope you get a lot of stitching in. I don't have plans to start a Thanksgiving stitch because I'm going to be cooking. And I know myself better than that. But I probably, after everything calms down, once Dave goes to work, I'll probably pull out my turkey tavern because I'd love to stitch on that again. And I think that'd be perfect for Thanksgiving Day. Maybe I'll get some stitches in while the bird's in the oven, but I don't know. We'll see. I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. I hope you eat too much food and then don't have to cook the rest of the weekend because you have so many leftovers. That's the best. You like slave that one day over all that food and then you don't have to cook at all for the rest of the weekend. Just zap it or reintroduce it in a casserole. So I hope you have a wonderful Thanksgiving. Have a great week of stitching. And I'll catch up with you next week, maybe. Hopefully I'll have enough stitching to share. I don't have a lot of plans. I'm all discombobulated because we don't have school. And we don't have hockey this week either, so not until Saturday. So goodbye, stitching friends.